Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Mike. Hi, Mike. How are you doing today?
Wonderful, Caroline. Thanks so much for having me. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine as well, and thank you for saying yes. I read in your bio that you are from Michigan. Is this right?
Yes, ma'am. Born and raised out in what is the Great Lake? Lake Huron.
Hmm,
Lived there
that's
most of my life.
wow, I love it. And you also said, yeah, you like to empower and uplift others and
Absolutely.
inspire others. Yes. So this is why we are here. We met in the quantum wealth community where there is a nice program called Phase 2. I always used to say Phase 2 community, but it's not really that. So my first question is, what inspires you?
Life. I find all of my inspiration through life and my experiences and my expansion points. And anytime I find anything challenging, I look at it as it's a lesson. And once I learn that lesson, the challenge is removed. Or, yeah, I guess challenge would be the most appropriate word. And I don't know, I find so much inspiration in life, and the little things, little moments, tucking my kids into bed, just watching them take those first sound sleeps. Actually, I write a lot after that.
Oh. I love that. You are inspired by life, and it's so easy or simple, let's say simple, but most of the people are not aware of that. They look around, they don't see it at all.
Absolutely. And like I just had a conversation inside the community with another member, and a friend of hers was going through something hard, and just being it was a challenging time for him, and she asked if she could share my writings with them. That's why I write them. Um, I'm a suicide survivor myself, and
Mhm.
there's times where I had to figure out a way to inspire myself in order to get the energy and just take care of things that needed to be taken care of. That's where I draw a lot of my inspiration from.
I understand. And I read some of your poems in the community as well. I love them very much. Also, the most recent one, I was impressed by the language. No, I have to laugh because it's a joy, it's a joy for the eyes to read and for the tongue if you speak it, and also for my understanding, because as you notice, I'm not native speaker. I'm in Germany right now, and but I decided what I did is that English is my first language now, and this is exciting, so I can improve it every day
I
by
love
this
that.
podcast. Mhm. And my
Well,
next question is, who inspires you? You talked about your kids already. I think they are an inspiration.
oh, absolutely. They
Yes.
they inspire me every day to learn more about me. Um, my poetry book is called Self Discovery,
Mhm.
and the people, like everyone, inspires me to some degree. Everyone that I meet, I learn something new about myself, and their reflections back to me. The person that has ever inspired me, though, has been my favorite poet, Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh. Do you said Edgar Allan Poe?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I mean, maybe I had something with my ears,
Sorry.
but yeah,
Edgar Allan Poe.
mhm, yeah,
Um,
he's very famous,
oh yes,
and mhm.
I got to go to his house where he grew up over when was it? Christmas.
Ah,
My ex-wife lives down there in Maryland, and I took my kids to see so they could see their mom, and I got to go check out his house. And while I was there, I took an opportunity to sit down and write a little bit, and it was amazing just sitting there in that essence of him.
yes,
I
the
like that.
energy.
Yes, it's all about the energy.
So the
And
spirit is still there.
oh,
Is the
absolutely.
spirit?
The essence of
Mhm.
our energy affects the environment. And I spent 22 years of my life studying the paranormal. I was a ghost hunter.
Wow.
We traveled all up and down the East Coast and here in the States. I'm sorry, West Coast. Um, Looking at different types of haunting, people would call us to their houses, and the thing that I love most about that is it was my job to inspire them to overcome the fear that was manifesting in their lives.
Mhm. Wow.
And I took a lot of inspiration from that too. So I guess in shortly, I live an inspired life, much like you do, Caroline.
Yeah, I do other things than haunting ghosts. I don't know, but when you mentioned East Coast and West Coast, why was it especially at the coast? Is there a reason or?
Uh, um, that was the easiest place for us to travel to,
Mm-hmm.
and it just seemed like where most people would be calling us from. Because I'd get a phone call and it'd be some complete stranger telling us, "Hey, I think something's really crazy is going on in my house. I want you to come check it out." We're like, "Okay, we'll be there." And there's a lot of history. Like here in Michigan, we are very connected to the Underground Railroad,
Mm-hmm.
and there is you can see the tunnel that leads out to the lake right before Canada. Now that's super interesting for history and very cool to explore, but it's also being used for human trafficking.
Oh,
All of the major port states, Port Huron being one of them, because it's right on the Great Lakes, have a high degree of that. For a long time, me and a friend of mine, well, she started the council, but it was a organization that helped dismantle those things. So we look for information like that around the internet and give it to the proper authorities. That inspired me a lot too. Hmm.
yeah, this is really good work. And when you talked about all that, I only know this from television. I never met someone, I'm laughing now. It's not for the persons in there in the situation, it's not funny. But you help to yeah, and I assume you have incredible results with that and also feedback also from the people.
Oh yes, every time we did a case, we got incredible feedback from them.
Hmm.
Inspiration is the way I look at it is it's creative energy, pure energy. It's there to do whatever you tell it to do. And if we don't know how to control our mind and succumb to our own fears, that energy doesn't matter what it creates. It's just going to create something, whether
Hmm.
it's a beneficial experience or a lesson.
That's true. Yeah. So how do you inspire other people?
Simply by talking to them, much like we're doing.
Mhm.
I found that conversations, just a simple conversation, can have such a profound impact on people. I am
Yeah.
thinking of there was this little story I read a while ago. This kid was coming home from high school, had all his books, had everything on him, and this other kid was walking home and noticed it. And he's like, "Hey, let me help you." And they ended up becoming best of friends. And the kid ended up coming on to become valedictorian. And when he was giving his speech, he stated that that kid's conversation that day saved his life because the reason that he emptied his locker, he planned to kill himself and he didn't want his parents to have to come out and clean his locker.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
I love that. I love the power of simple conversations. Few people really realize
Mhm.
how powerful our conversations are on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, we don't know because I would say we don't need to reason, but I always say it's because we are not trained by that to pay attention to other people's how they feel or to help them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that. And I tell my kids all the time. You're gonna hear the words, pay attention a lot, but
Mhm.
no one's really gonna teach you how.
Mhm.
And I give them a little, uh, I guess, meditation exercise. I make them hold an orange or a simple shape, and then I make them recreate it in their head. While
Mhm.
they're holding the object, they close their eyes and make a picture of it in their head. That helps them a lot.
And you feel it as well, right? There was this exercise with the ball, with the tennis ball versus a golf ball, and you feel the difference in even if you don't hold it in your hand, You feel
Oh,
the difference by imagining, and you can strengthen this muscle, of course, your imagination. Mhm.
oh, absolutely. One of the best exercise I ever found for that is taking just like triangles and overlaying them and seeing how many triangles you can overlay while holding that image in your mind.
Wow. Okay.
That's sacred geometry.
I will do this after our interview. I
All right, let
learned.
me know how many you get. I could do about 15 before my concentration starts getting
Oh, mhm. That's nice. I love it. So, what are your gifts and talents?
writing.
Writing.
Communication, actually, which is really funny to me because when I was a kid, I didn't talk until I was about 7 years old. And I
Mhm,
had to go to therapy and do all these crazy things. But I really never felt didn't want to talk.
mhm.
But I always loved writing, and I would use my writing to express life. And in those writings, like when we would do paranormal cases, I would usually write some type of spell or poem or something that rhymed together to stir emotion within someone so that they could then learn to cultivate that emotion.
And also to let go,
Yes.
or mhm.
And letting go.
And you left the poem to the people. You gave it to them like a gift to close that episode, to say it's over now, and and take this to remember or to remind
Absolutely.
themselves. I love it.
Thank you.
I heard about something similar. It's called Soul Download, and you download it, and then you have like a poetry as well, and you use it to imagine, or yeah, we would say manifest, or the visualize also. Yes, it's nice. So I can understand what you did with your paranormal normal not activities but the work. And did you also, because when I see this in television, they are recording it also, there's an empty room, and then you record it and you see those phenomenons.
We would record things. We had
Mhm.
our cameras and recorders and all those things set up, and we would try to document any activity that we found. And actually, later today, I'm going to share. We captured a video footage of an apparition. We caught something on film, and that was an amazing story. The lady who called us out to her house, she had two kids from a previous marriage, and they had a huge blow up, and nobody was talking to them. Didn't have a relationship with them for like 7 years. She started to finally rebuild a relationship with her oldest son. Ended up passing away like 2 months after they reconnected.
Wow.
And that's when she called me. She was like, Mike, something's going on in my house. I want you to come out. And we were able to capture what looked like a teenage boy wearing a jean or a white shirt and jeans. And after that, I wrote a poem about him for her. And that closure allowed her to actually, she had an incredible expansion experience after that. But that just having that video and having that closure there around that really helped her to let go
Mhm.
and live in the moment and be more present instead of succumbing to her own despair.
Yes, we have the choice. We always have the choice to which side we want to go. Yes.
That's right.
Wow, this is so amazing. So what are your plans for the we have no future. It's always now, you know this, but what are your plans?
Simply to sell my book and to write more. I'm currently writing another book. We briefly mentioned the types of focus training, mental training.
Mhm.
I'm writing a book about how to focus your mind and how to use your own chakras and energy system. So that's the next phase. And I just want to get my book out there. I want my poetry to be read by everyone. It's my goal and mission in this life to inspire, illuminate, and uplift the entire cosmos.
I love it. And you recognize the word goal was in the in the field. I wanted to avoid this word. I succeeded. Um,
Thank
yes,
you.
because I used to ask, what is your goal for 2024?
Oh,
Yes, okay, you write more poetry and you write a book about focus training. This is amazing. And yeah, and now my last question is, when people reach out to you after listening to this episode, how can they help you with?
um,
How can they help you?
purchase my book because not
Oh.
only does my I donate $2 of every sale to the Center for Shamanic Studies,
Oh.
which they do a lot for indigenous people that have been misplaced or need assistance.
Mhm.
And they have an incredible collection of shamanic experiences that has been cataloged that I study. That would be huge helpful. And to really help, just remember, guys, it only takes a moment for a kind word or even just a smile can change somebody's life. It's that simple.
It
We
is simple. And therefore it is overlooked and underrated, and we can cultivate it and spread it to the world.
exactly. Love that. Yes.
Oh,
100%
thank
agree.
thank you so much for our interview. I am inspired now.
Me too. I
I
want to go write more.
continue my work. And yeah, do you have a last message for our listeners?
Just, guys, is there anything that you could ever learn or know? Is this: you have all the power within you to choose. Every choice you make is you using your power. Choose the choices that make you happy. Find that joy. It's beautiful. I love that.
Wow, this was amazing. Thank you so much. Listen to this episode again. There were so many nuggets. And yeah, see you in the next episode.
Yes,
Bye
and thank you,
bye.
Caroline. It was an amazing experience, and very expansive.